Thank you. I'm calling to order a code enforcement hearing of the City of Cape Canaveral, Florida. Today's date is March 25th, 2025. My name is Rick Geller. I'm Special Magistrate. I was appointed by the City Council to hear code enforcement cases pursuant to Article 6 of the City Code, as well as Chapter 162 of the Florida Statutes. We'll be having quasi-judicial evidentiary hearings here today, one of which is known as a Massey hearing. The burden of proof in both instances will be upon the city to show by a preponderance of evidence that a code violation has occurred, or with respect to the Massey hearing, continues to exist. I will determine, in other words, based on the evidence presented to me this evening, whether it is more likely than not that a code enforcement violation has occurred or continues to occur. Any alleged violator will have an opportunity to submit any rebuttal or exculpatory evidence, including testimony. At my discretion, I may allow a member of the public with relevant personal knowledge to testify, even if not called by either the city or the responding party. Anyone who would like to testify, we have a sign-in sheet at the right at the beginning of at the front of the chambers here. We'd appreciate if you would sign in and indicate who you're testifying for. Upon request, any alleged violator may ask relevant and material questions of any city witness, and conversely, the city may ask relevant and material questions of any witnesses for the responding party. I may exclude evidence that I deem to be irrelevant, immaterial, or unduly repetitious. In determining the amount of any fine, I will consider the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, as well as any previous history of violations. Under the City Code and Florida statutes, I may assess and order the payment of a fine of up to $250 per day for a first violation, and in the event of repeat violations, up to $500 per day. Or, and this is very rare in the instance of an irreparable and irreversible violation, fine of up to $5,000, as well as any cost of repairs made by the city. I can also order that as well. At the conclusion of the hearing, I will issue findings of fact and conclusions of law based on the evidence of record. I will issue an order here on the bench and also in writing. I always endeavor to do that the same week as the hearing. The city will record any certified copy of an order imposing a fine in the public records of Brevard County, and that will then become a lien upon the land where the violation occurs, as well as upon any other real or personal property owned by someone deemed to have been in violation of the city code. Any order I issue may be appealed by any party to the Circuit Court of Brevard County within 30 days. It is the responsibility of the appealing party to obtain a record of these proceedings. An appeal is limited to the record presented to me this evening. By way of housekeeping, the city's agenda packet will be administratively accepted into evidence as City's Exhibit 1. PowerPoint slides for each case will be administratively accepted as Exhibit Number 2. And I have approved of the minutes from the February 25th, 2025 Special Magistrates hearing. I've given those minutes to our recording secretary, Ms. Roth. The next hearing date is April 22nd, 2025. And at this point, I would ask that anyone who expects to testify to please stand up and be sworn in. Do either of you expect to testify? Okay. All right. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you very much. The first case on the agenda is case number 24-225, Charles and Helen Pinziak, LLC property owners. And I think you have an announcement to make on that one.
Yes, sir. Right now, at this time, he has applied for and obtained a building permit. It expires in September 10th of this year.
All right. So is the city then just dismissing the action?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we'll accept that dismissal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
The second case on the agenda is case 24-240, and Lee Coates, trustee, is indicated as the property owner. And if you would kindly just introduce yourself for the record.
Yes, Officer Fiala, Chris Fiala, City of Cape Canaveral Code Enforcement. First case we have pertains to Lee Coach trustee, address 220 West Long Point Road. Violation is for property maintenance standards 3496 ABD, standards established, section 34-94B purpose. Notification summary. Notice of violation was mailed on 12/6/2024, since certified to the Lee Coach trustee. 12/2024, returned to sender. 1/7/2025, posted property in accordance to Florida State Statute 162.12 notices. Notice of hearing was sent out on 2/24/2025, sent certified mail via USPS. 3/14/2025, return receipt received.
Okay.
So, there's the parcel through the Brevard County Property Appraiser's Office.
May I ask you this? Is
Yes,
there
sir.
a separate address for, it looks like a duplex?
Correct, it is a duplex, sir, and that's the correct picture of it.
All right, so the 2020
West Long Point Road.
that would be
correct.
this half of the duplex?
Yes, sir, it's to the
All right.
left of it, yes, sir.
Very good.
So in 2024, I received a complaint regarding a broken window, fallen siding, and raccoons on the property. It was a complaint that was filed through the city. Upon arrival, I made contact with the respondent. I conducted an inspection of the property. I observed the broken window, which later in time, the broken window was not a broken window. Due to it being blown up, it was a tint that was falling down.
I'm
So-
not sure I understand that. So the window was not broken?
The window was not broken after I did an in-depth discovery of blowing up the window from far away.
You're talking about zooming in on a
Correct.
picture?
On a
Okay.
big zoom page, the tint was coming down from.
Oh, the tint of the window.
So they
I see.
tinted
So there was
the
like
windows?
a coating of tint that was coming,
Correct.
peeling
correct,
off.
but
I
from far
got it.
away, it looks like it was broke.
I see.
So-
Okay.
The resident was vacant for at least 5 years. While inspecting the rear of the home, there was a little issue with raccoons. There was no raccoons. I did a perimeter check. No raccoons were found at all. I told the complainant if they had any issues to notify animal control. On 10/28/2024, courtesy notice was mailed to the homeowner pertaining to this complaint.
And basically, at this point, what we're concerned about is the tint falling off in the siding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Correct. So on 11/4/2024, no contact was from the respondent, so no contact was made. On 11/4/2024, I put a door hanger / courtesy notice was placed on the residents to make contact with them to move forward with the case. 11/7/2024, the respondent contacted me in reference to the door hanger notice. So I set up a time on 11/12/2024. I met with the property owner, Lee Coates, at the residence at 220 West Long Point Road, and went over the code violations and discussed a plan of action for compliance. We were both on site. We spent about 20-25 minutes together going over a plan of action for compliance.
So if I could understand correctly, the notice of violation on November 12th, that was not the notice of violation that we're here under, because we have another notice of violation mailed on the
Yeah.
7th.
Well, what happened was I met up with him, with Lee Coates at the property, and what happened was we discussed a plan of action. She was gonna move forward with getting me a general contractor and some other information to me. She never did that.
Okay.
So at that point, I generated a notice of violation. And that was mailed to the property owner. On 1/7/2025, no contact was made from the property owner. So notice of violation was mailed and certified to the property owner. On
Okay.
2/24.
So was the first notice of violation sort of, this is what we want you to do, and the second one was, we really mean it?
Exactly, yes, sir, yes, sir. So what happened was,
Okay.
no contact was made from the property owner, and the violation still exists on February 2024. So at that point, a notice was hearing set,
Okay.
mailed to the property owner. So I went through the notice of violation, and then I went to the notice of hearing. So at that point, originally, sir, I made contact with her. I thought she was gonna be in compliance with her plan of action, and we moved forward with it, and I didn't hear any response back.
Okay.
So at that point, I went ahead with that end of the notice of hearing.
Right.
So that's the picture of the front of 220 West Long Point Road. Right over there where that little blue chair is, that's like
Yes.
the main entry to get into the, sort of say, duplex to the left.
Okay.
There's the broken siding, the dilapidated siding that's located up top. Now you see the window from far away appeared that it was broke, but it's not when I blew it up. It was
I
just the
see.
tint falling down.
Okay.
So the dilapidated siding is still there, and that was the main concern about the code.
Right, it looks like there is some, forget what you call it, particle wood or?
Yes,
or,
sir.
I don't
Yes,
know,
sir.
is there a
It does
better
look
word
like
for that?
Correct.
Like,
I mean, you can see the siding's hanging down, and for safety reasons and security reasons of codes and.
particle board?
That's a particle, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So that was, and there's a side view from a different angle.
Yeah. And it looks like that, underneath the particle board, it looks like there's a hole into the structure. Is that the case?
I didn't really notice a hole too much,
I
but.
mean, it looks like a triangular black area under the,
Yeah, it looks like that might have been like a tarp, like they put like a coating over the plywood sometimes,
okay, all right.
like a covering. So I don't know how in depth they went with that
Right.
when
And,
they
and,
did
and,
it.
then also between the window and the particle board, there also appears to be a gap. Is that, in
Correct,
fact, is that a
correct.
gap that goes into the interior?
Correct. There was some little openings near the gap.
So we have
Correct.
openings
Correct.
into the interior
Correct, on the outside of it.
where the rain and the elements can
Yes,
just
sir.
blow right
Yes,
into
sir.
this
But,
structure.
I mean, my main concern was the dilapidated siding falling down.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's kind of an issue there.
It's more than kind of, it is an issue.
Yes, sir.
Is there any issue with there's some wires hanging there too? I don't think you cited them for that, but
No, the wires, that was, let me see something.
you see how it's almost like it's,
Yeah, no, as I went back there to check on it, the wires somehow were elevated up, so.
I just want to make sure there's not some
Yeah, no,
safety issue
no.
there that anyone overlooked.
No, sir, no, sir.
Okay.
But that was the pictures that I've taken for the code.
Okay.
So it was that side and that side,
All right.
and then,
And the issue of the tint having, peeling off the window, I mean, that is, either it has to be completely removed or replaced, So it's
Correct.
either one or the other. It just
Okay,
has to
right,
look.
with the-
We
but-
don't care if they have tint there or
Okay,
not, but
okay,
it's
just
like,
fix it, repair it.
yeah, either remove
new
or.
tint. Okay, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
either remove or replace the tint.
But I thought it was broke from when I first
Yeah.
started from far away, and as you can tell, from far away it doesn't.
Yeah.
But as I blew it up, sir, it turned out that it was tint,
Okay.
as you can tell.
Okay.
So
Anything further?
that was my
All right.
case that I had pertaining to this residence.
Okay. To the,
My staff recommendation is to, this is just my end for another 30 days, but that's just my end.
April 25th to,
Was it
to
the
come to
25th? Oh,
compliance.
the 25th to comply with the notice of violation.
Okay,
So,
okay, and, all right. Well, you aren't Mr. and Mrs. Coates by any chance?
No.
No, okay, all right, so I assume Ms. Coates is not here this evening?
Correct,
Is
sir.
not,
She's not
okay.
here. Correct.
All right, then she's waived her right to give her side of things.
Okay.
And so other than the 1 month to get this taken care of, anything further you'd like me to consider?
No, sir, at this point, I think
Okay.
I'm really leaning towards the dilapidated siding and
All
fixing the tint
All
and
right. And
repairing it.
are we,
Yes, sir.
all right. All right, well, I'm going to issue some findings of fact. I'm going to find that the respondent, Lee Coates, as trustee, owns the subject property, that that the notice of violation, notice of hearing were served in accordance with the Florida statutes and the city code. I'm going to find that the respondent is in violation of the property maintenance standards of the city code, and in particular, section 34-94, which talks about good community appearance. Violation of 34-96 A, B, and D. A states that, subparagraph A states that maintenance and upkeep are required for all improvements within the city. B requires maintenance of the exterior in a clean, sanitary, and safe condition. All parts thereof shall be maintained in good repair and capable of performing the function for which such structure or part was designed or intended to be used. And then D, exterior property areas shall be kept free of all nuisances. I find that the property is a public nuisance in the condition that it is in, that it has a blighting or deteriorating influence on the neighborhood. And subparagraph D states that exterior property area shall be free of blighting or deteriorating influences on the neighborhood. We clearly have that here. I find a violation of 34-97. That property must be maintained free of hazards. I think there's a potential hazard when you have a building with openings where the elements and the rain can get in there and cause structural degradation and all sorts of hazards. I'm finding a violation of 34-122, which prohibits public nuisances. (82-121), which requires maintenance. You didn't give me any testimony on the property itself, landscaping, the yard. Did you have any issues on that? Because
No, sir.
I think they
No,
were
sir.
cited for that provision deals with this one I just cited, the 82-121. It talks about excessive weeds, overgrowth. I mean, I
No,
haven't
sir.
seen, I've
No,
not seen
sir.
any evidence about
No, sir.
that. Okay. All right, so we're not going to find a violation of that. All right, and I'm going to issue an order giving the respondent until April 25th, 2025 to repair or replace the dilapidated siding and to remove or replace the torn window tint. And that she should do so pulling all necessary building permits. And that if the respondent fails to timely comply, that I would ask you to schedule this for another hearing before me. It would be a Massey hearing at that point, and we'll take a look at assessing fines. That I would ask that if we do schedule a follow-up hearing, that you again give Ms. Lee due notice so that she has an opportunity again to appear, present evidence and testimony. That I'm going to reserve my right to enter a fine of up to $250 per day for each day that the subject property remains in violation, but that will be at a Massey hearing where that will be considered. And that if I do impose a fine, that that fine will become a lien in favor of the city upon the recording of an order opposing the lien. And let's move on to the third item on the agenda then. And that's case number 24-208. Diane Bateson is indicated as the property owner. And Officer Coates, if you could just introduce yourself again for the record.
Yes, sir. Gerald Coates, Code Manager, City of Cape Canaveral.
All right.
As you stated, Mr. Giller, 24-208, Diane D. Bateson, Living Trust. Address 8801 Seashell Lane. Violation is for work without a permit. Building Code 105.1, permits required. 110.1 inspections. Notification of summary. Magistrate orders on 10/29/24 sent certified mail. 11/1/24, property was posted in accordance with Florida Statutes 162.12. Notices along with the required posting at City Hall. Notice of Massey hearing, 2/26/25 sent certified mail. 3/4/2025 posted property in accordance with Florida Statute 162.12. Notices along with the required posting at City Hall. There's the picture of the property.
So this is a quadplex, I assume?
One, two, there looks like two on this side, there's two, yes, four.
So it's I see, okay. All right, so go ahead.
Yes, sir. On 10/22/24, staff presented this case to you and you determined that the property was in violation of notice of violation, gave the respondent until November 22nd, 2024 to either remove the installed 5-foot fence, reduce the fence height to 4 feet, ensuring that there are no unsafe edges, or submit a complete variance application to the city, including payment of all required fees for approval of a fence exceeding 4 feet in height.
Okay.
On 11/20/24, Ms. Bateson submitted the variance application along with the required fee to City Hall. On 12/18/24, the variance application was reviewed by the Community Economics Department Director, Rihanna Solt. Need to inform you, Mr. Geller, that Ms. Solt is no longer with the City of Cape Canaveral.
Okay.
On 12/23/24, following the review, Ms. Bateson was informed that the variance application is incomplete, as it lacked a fence location and distance from the property lines. She was advised that a completed variance application needed to be resubmitted before it could be considered for inclusion on the agenda for the January council meeting. On 2/12/25, I informed Ms. Bateson that the variance application was still incomplete and must be finalized and submitted no later than 2/25/2025. On 3/5/25.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me just, so you spoke with her on February 12th, said get this, complete the application by what date?
February 25th, 25.
Okay, so a couple weeks. You gave her a couple weeks.
Yes, sir. And on 3/5/25, I received a telephone call from Ms. Bateson inquiring about the magistrate hearing. She stated that she was unaware of any issues regarding the incomplete application. I I explained that the application must include the proposed fence location and distance from the property lines. On March 20th, 2025, the variance application remains incomplete. There's a picture of the fence. It's 5 feet around the property, showing 5 foot. Property representative.
Okay. All right, whoever would like to come up and testify, and I would just ask if you give your name and address. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This has been quite a show.
Yes.
my
Could I
name-
have your name and address, please?
Diane Bateson,
Thank you.
8801 Seashell Lane, Cape Canaveral, 32920.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me start with saying that I purchased this property in 2011. There was absolutely no fencing around this whatsoever, and I'm on the corner of a four-way stop. And back then, 14 years ago, the traffic was tenth of what it is now.
Okay.
I have a La Cantina restaurant bar right directly across the street from me. Well, it's catty corner, but I'm on the corner. A Circle K gas station, and now 13 Airbnbs in my neighborhood. I've been a realtor for 32 years here in Brevard. I'm a flight attendant. I work for the Cape Canaveral.
Can you slow down one second, make sure I get all this. So you have a restaurant, bar, a cantina, you said?
La Cantina Mexican restaurant.
La
yes, sir.
Cantina.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
that's catty corner, and then there was something else
It
you
is.
mentioned. Right, that's adjacent. That was
Circle K,
the Circle K. That's what was causing a lot of the traffic. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
not including that, we have 7 ships that are in and out of the port weekly, who now drop off people in my subdivision to go to the beach. So they're bringing their luggage, walking by my house, all the way back to the road or to the beach. And to be honest with you, I feel very unsafe there. I'm a single woman. I come in at all hours of the night because being a flight attendant, that happens. Work for the cruise ships. I leave at 6 in the morning, and to be honest with you, I don't really feel safe there without a minimum 5-foot fence. It is a townhouse complex. There are 8 townhouses in Cape Canaveral, and every one of them has either a 5-foot or 6-foot fence around it.
Let me just stop you there. Are you talking about the 8 townhouses? Is that part of your building, or is
No,
that?
I'm separate from everybody.
Oh.
I mean, we're connected, but,
Like
excuse me.
one thing I wasn't unclear when I saw the photo was how many townhouse units are on your in your building?
No,
4.
in my building, well, I'm single. The next one sits back about 15 feet. I don't see them. The next one sits back. So it's
If
kind
you
of,
talk in the microphones, that way we.
so it's kind of cattywampus.
Thank you so much. Yes. So there are 4 townhouse
Yeah.
units?
It's 4 units.
4 units, got it.
In their
Okay.
townhouses. So
All right.
I did my due diligence, and I went
Okay.
around and took pictures of every townhouse complex that has, and they're all 5 to 6 foot fencing.
Okay.
Now, I am on the corner, and that's where the code violation came in, because it said I
Right.
had to be, I could only be 4 foot because
Right.
from the center of the road. Well, this is a unique piece of property. When Mr. Morgan built this property, and he used to be the mayor here, he did not fill in up to the road. So my pool, okay, now I have a pool.
I saw
First,
that.
it was a 4-foot fence around the back of my property, nothing in the front. Well, after numerous calls to the police and to an ex-employee here at the city hall, or for the city, he recommended that I get a minimum 5-foot fence. I've had people sleeping in my yard, beer cans, just all kinds of paraphernalia that goes on and on and on. But, so, from that 4-foot fence.
Let me
that I
stop you.
put-
So you have beer cans and people sleeping in your yard
Sleeping in my yard.
before the fence was installed?
Homeless people, which is fine. I volunteer out at Matthews Hope and do it all here for the
Uh-huh.
homeless people. So there's nothing against them, it's that they'd have nowhere to go.
Okay.
And I wasn't comfortable with that, so I put a 4-foot fence around my pool, around my yard. Okay, let's fast forward 7 years. I put a pool in. Okay,
Can I stop you there? You say a 4-foot fence was installed. Is that the same location where the current 5-foot fence is?
no, it's not.
Where was the 4-foot fence
The
installed?
4-foot fence is in my backyard.
Oh, around the pool.
Well, there was no pool though. Okay, so this is where I'm going with this.
Okay.
The 4-foot fence was put in when I first bought the property. Like I said, I was going to flight attendant training. And people could actually walk from the bar right into my backyard and sit around the patio. And so I put a 4-foot fence in the backyard.
Did that stop the trespasses?
No, it helped, but since I am 6 foot below the road, that 4-foot fence is like a 2-foot fence.
Okay.
I've got photos to show you.
Okay.
And so now, fast forward 7 years, I decided to put a pool in.
Okay.
So the guys that put the pool in, I had to take a couple sections of the fence down, which is normal. All right, so then the pool's done. Now I really got riffraff coming in the front yard all hours of the night, people yelling over, is that a community pool? So after, again, multiple calls to the police, I have reports, not to mention a coyote that jumped over the fence into my backyard with me out there. So,
Coyote jumped over the 4-foot fence.
oh yeah,
Okay.
sailed right over, because again, I'm way below the road. If you stand up on the sidewalk there across from the restaurant, you could literally pull the ball over.
Okay.
So, there are 6-foot fences all along the back of my right on that road, across from the La Cantina. The last townhouse has a 6-foot fence on the corner.
So these are other townhouses you were talking about?
No, my complex.
So other townhouses in your building have a 6-foot fence?
Well, this is a house. I'm a house, there's a house, there's a house, and there's a house. There's only 4 houses. We're all 2,400 square feet.
But these are connected houses?
Yes.
They're all the same roof?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. Same builder. So anyway, the one on the opposite end of mine, which is the first one, has a 6-foot fence.
Okay.
Okay, no pool, just a 6-foot fence.
All right.
So all I'm asking is to have the 5-foot fence, and it's see-through, it's not obstructing any view, and it's a really nice aluminum black with the arrows on the top, very expensive.
I saw the photo, yeah.
Okay. Very classy, it looks awesome there. I've done nothing but property improvements there. It goes all the way around to meet the 4-foot fence to the back.
Okay.
Okay, and I just want to continue that. Actually, I'd like to continue the 5-foot fence to the road and then 6 foot across the back of my property. And if I was allowed to go at least 8 foot, that would be wonderful, because that's still not even, you can still see the cars driving by.
Okay.
It's a security thing, it's a liability thing. My insurance company won't insure this anymore. Actually, I've got 2 insurance companies that have turned me down, because it's the pool. To have a pool, you need to at least have a 6-foot fence. I went around and got all the pictures in the neighborhood of all the new fences that have been put up around their pools, and they're all 6 foot, and the people are all corner. So I'm just terrified. I don't want to stay there without feeling safe. And if you would come out and see the property, you have to go down to the fence. And there's the pool, but you can see, I'll show you pictures. I mean, Rich lives 2 doors down from me. He has a 6-foot fence in his backyard, same road, right on Atlantic, and he can verify the riffraff, the problems that I've had there, because I am on a corner, and I really feel with the increased, Airbnbs and what's going on in Cape Canaveral. I mean, we're expanding like crazy, and I'm sitting duck there. I'm just and if someone drowns in that pool, it's on me, and I don't think that's being unreasonable. And all I want to do is just take out the 4-foot, or I could even add the new fence behind it, but I got to have at least 5 to 6 feet on that fence. It's not a normal lot, sir. Like I said, I sit down 6 feet from the road. Now, when you get down to the front part of my property where I put the fence, the nice one, going with the nice gate and stuff, to protect my front yard, it's flat there. So that 5 foot is good. I feel safe there. Nobody's going to jump over that fence. Right. But I want to continue it all the way around to where my property, ends. I have a 6-foot fence on the north side that's connected to the next guy over. that I put in for them, and then they continued it around to the other lady. So it's just,
Sure. And you said you had some photographs to show me. Are the photographs on your phone, or where are they?
on my phone, sir.
Okay, we're going to need to, in order to make them part of the record, we need to have these photographs emailed to the city so that, because if they're just on your phone, we need the record to be complete,
Can
to
I
to have
show-
the, to have the evidence
I
that.
want you, okay, that's fine.
So what I'm going to ask is there an email address that she can email the photos to,
Yes,
Ms. Roth?
She can email them to me. It's p.roth@capecanaveral.gov.
I'm gonna have to get that from you when I,
Ms. Bates, and I could give you my card right out front, you can just email it to me.
okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
awesome.
All right, so I'll let you go ahead and show me the photos, but I would like Officer Coates to see the photos too, so the city sees exactly what you're showing me.
Exactly, and then.
Okay, so if you want to come up here and we can.
I can show him a couple of them, just so you kind of have an idea, but
Okay.
you really, nobody can really, and Rich can verify this for me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get the depth of this, and I think Joel knows, I mean, you've seen the back of the yard. You can see right in, you can walk almost over the fence to get in.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's what's happened.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I
what-
would have been fine with the 4 foot if I didn't have all these people coming and hanging out, and I can't, I have a dog, but, she's a rescue and she's 14, so she's not gonna help me much. I have a gun, but I don't wanna use it, all right, so.
Understood. Do you want to come up and show me the
Yeah.
photos, since I will not be able to, and then sir, we'll have you testify when she's completed?
I just want to throw in a couple comments.
Hold on, just hold on, and we're gonna finish with Ms. Bateson, and then I'll call you up to testify.
Okay, this was just this morning, several beer cans in the front.
Okay, hold on a second. If you go back, so we're looking at a photo of, looks like is this a patio, or what is that area there?
That's a city walkway.
It's a city walkway, and this is your fence on the right? So we have a beer can sitting on the city sidewalk, basically, in front of this
This is
fence.
me standing on the sidewalk behind my fence, behind the fence on the main road there, at Astronaut Boulevard.
Okay, and is this,
This
so,
is my pool.
I see the pool behind,
This is the
behind and that there is the 4-foot fence?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I could see the.
Here's my balcony up here,
Okay.
two-story.
Okay, and so we're looking through some foliage at the pool, and I could see the balcony also through the foliage here.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm just trying to describe these photos for the record.
And there's another one.
Okay, and this again is from the vantage point of being on the public right-of-way, looking into the property over the 4-foot fence, seeing the pool through the foliage. Okay,
Okay, that's a 6-foot fence that's
it's like a
next
picket.
to me, basically on the other side.
Okay,
That's 6 foot, yeah, and it's coming behind Rich's house as well.
okay, so we're looking at either if you call that a split rail or picket fence.
Yeah, well, this is a city little, where they get the bus. Bus number 9 picks up people here, but the houses are behind it.
Okay, can you explain to me where your property is in relationship to this split rail fence we're looking
This
at?
way, all the way down to the light where there's a 4-way stop. There's a 4-way stop right there.
Okay, and where's your property in relation to this?
This way, right?
Our property's on the corner down here, Mr. Geller.
Okay.
This is, an out, and this
Oh,
is.
okay, there's a main road there.
There's the main.
Okay, all right. All
me
right,
show you
what
something
else would you want to show me?
Okay, this is a 5-foot fence. It goes around one of the condo complexes, completely all around in Cape Canaveral. Out there is Solana Lakes.
Okay, so this is
Same
not,
exa-
this is not your,
This is exact fence I have, but mine's in black.
yes, and this is not your building, this is another complex?
Right.
Okay,
Just wanted to get there. Okay, this is the end unit on my complex.
Okay.
On the opposite end. This is number 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm 1. This is a 6-foot fence they have.
okay, it looks like a wooden fence back
Yes, it
there?
is.
Okay,
But I don't want a wooden because I want to be able to see through it.
Of course.
And it won't obstruct any traffic lights
right,
or anything.
right.
And this is another neighbor of mine, 2 doors down, that has a 6-foot fence
Okay.
all the way around his property, and he backs up to Astronaut.
Okay, is this also part of your building, your townhouse building, or is that a different building?
North Atlantic.
Okay, so that's North Atlantic you were showing me, and there was another wooden fence
Yeah.
of approximately 6 feet.
Right.
Okay?
This is a house across the street from me, just put in a vinyl fence,
Okay.
6 foot.
6-foot vinyl fence across
on
the street.
corner.
Okay.
And this is a brand-new house out there by me that has put a pool in. This is a new Airbnb they built, and this is a new 6-foot vinyl fence.
Okay.
Again, a 6-foot vinyl fence. I'm gonna show you mine here in just a sec. Okay.
So we're
here we
looking at a
go.
number of fences that are opaque versus yours, which is
Clear.
yeah, you can see through it.
Right.
Okay. Take your time.
Well, I will. Video, so let me see. I didn't. This is me standing out from my pool area, looking out to Atlantic Avenue.
So this is from within your property. We're looking out.
I'm standing on the pool deck.
Okay. And I see the foliage. I don't see the fence, the existing
Can't see
4-foot
the
fence.
That's the thing.
Okay.
There's no fence,
Okay.
so all the people can see is a pool.
Well, I thought you said there was a
here we go.
4-foot.
This is mine.
Okay, well, going back to the prior photo, I thought you said there was a 4-foot fence that separated your property from the right-of-way, from the,
There is, you can't see it.
okay. That's
This
the
is-
point, that
Yeah.
it's just not visible. Okay. And since now this video here, we're
This is me.
looking
This
at
is
the,
my unit.
and this is the 5-foot fence that we're looking at. Okay.
Yeah, and it's very nice. It's classy. People, all my neighbors loved it, and they're like, "What a good addition." Let me see. Here it is. Okay, and on the behind this is a hedge. Okay, this is my hedge. The fence is behind here. You don't even see half of it. And the only half. See, there's the corner. There's somebody running by. Here's my fence. This is a corner here. The fence. Oh, die on me. It's gonna die. Maybe not. Let's see. Oh, there they go. Okay, here goes. Okay, that's from the corner going south. There's a wooden fence. There's the one I want to replace. And it hooks. Oh, you got to be kidding me. See, now it's not going to be. Oh, there.
Is there anything else you'd like me to look
Well, I wanted you to see this one section. It won't take a second.
at? Okay.
Because it's so important to me. This is something I worked hard for. This is,
This is the 5-foot fence.
uh-huh, and there's my garage door, and it comes around,
Comes around to the front of the property,
comes around to the front,
at the corner right there, Mr. Geller.
right, and then it goes over to the front. But I did take a picture of the, okay. No, this should go all the way around. I think I walked it all the way around. So this is where I just want to replace this with the same black
Right.
5-foot fence.
Right, but this fence is not the one that you're appearing before me on, actually. That would be
Oh.
another proceeding.
Oh, well, this was in that was in this. In other words, the variance I applied for the second time, and Anna is the one here at the City Hall said to include that in this variance for the 5-foot because that would be the best way to do it. So the fence just goes here all the way around and it will just finish off the property and give me security. The liability won't be there on me and my safety won't be jeopardized.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me ask you this, just so I have and you mentioned that you work, I'll let you go back to the microphone over there if you would, please. You mentioned that you're a flight attendant. Is there a particular airline that you work for?
Yes, JetBlue.
JetBlue.
But I just have retired from them
Okay,
13 years out of Orlando.
okay. And then you're also doing some work for
Yeah, the
for
cruise lines,
The
yeah.
cruise lines? What do you do for the cruise lines?
I check everybody in with their passports and security clearances
Okay.
and
Okay.
all of their documents that they have to,
Okay, all right.
or the ones that are trying to cruise and can't.
Okay. Anything else you want to let me know before your neighbor comes up to testify?
No, just that it's, it really is a unique piece of property, and the fact that it's on the corner and all of the traffic is tripled, if not.
Yeah.
And I just do foresee a real traffic light there, because it's just inevitable. They run those stop signs all the time, and there's a lot of kids and people walking, and it's eventually gonna be a four-way stop. It is now, but a real four-way stop with a light.
Okay.
I
All right.
appreciate your.
Thank you, Ms. Bateson. All right. Sir, would you like to come up and offer your perspective? And if you would,
I'm going to make it short.
that's fine. And if you would please, that's fine. If you would please give me your name and address.
My name is Rich Morris, and I live 2 doors down from her at 8805
I'm sorry, is it Morris or Morrison?
Morris, Morrish.
Morrish, got
Yes.
it. Okay.
The only thing I wanted to say is, first off, when Morgan built them condos, he didn't build up any of the property. So her house and my house, which Morgan didn't build, but they didn't build that one up in the back either. It's actually almost 6 foot lower than the road.
Okay.
Now, I can sit in my backyard and look out towards the road. I can see the whole cars, wheels and all, going by. I mean, that's how low that back piece is.
Right.
And so she could put a 5-6 foot fence back there, and it would still only be 2 foot shorter than the road. I mean, it's not like I understand that you don't want a fence there that's high that changes the view of what drivers can see.
Okay.
But she wouldn't be even with the road if she put a 5-foot fence back.
I think there's some confusion about what fence we're here on.
The whole fence that goes down
So,
the back piece.
yeah,
of all those
I think
properties.
the citation that we're dealing with is the 6 foot aluminum fence along around the corner. I'm sorry, the 5 foot, I misspoke.
Yeah.
The 5 foot
Yeah.
fence around the corner. Is there any testimony you can give me about that?
Well, her fence in the back of the property that goes out to the road is 4 foot.
I understand
It's
that.
still 3 foot shorter than the road.
Right,
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
It's not even to the road.
I understand
Mine,
that.
behind mine, when Morgan built her property, I already owned mine.
I understand.
He fenced that whole condo complex next to me.
Right.
With a 5-foot fence.
I understand.
He even went and ran the fence down behind my property at 5 foot.
Okay.
I can still sit in my backyard and look out over the top of that fence and see the cars go by.
Okay.
I mean, that's the difference.
Excuse me, sir, would you please talk into a microphone? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am, I'd be happy to. So that's the only thing I wanted to throw in is the height of those properties. They kept
Understand.
building the road up for years.
I understand.
They never built that piece of property.
Okay.
And now the piece of property is totally useless because it's too thin
Okay.
and you can't get the property up even with the road.
Rich, let me
I understand.
finish something. I
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to address what he.
I'm going to let Ms. Bateson come back, if you're done, sir.
You done?
Mr. Morris.
Or you want-
Yeah, no, I can.
Thank
that's
you.
all
I
wanted to
appreciate
say.
that.
Thank you so much. Ms. Bateson, what I'm really concerned about is the metal fence
Okay, let me
in
address
the
that.
front.
Let me address
Is
that.
there anything else you'd like me to consider about that?
Yes, I want to add, the reason I went 5 foot on that is because the 4 foot one that I had put in, it's still there, even after the pool was not adequate enough, so I went in with a 5 foot fence variance.
Okay.
I paid the $825, and then I never heard from anybody again for like 4 months. So that's what I assumed was fine. And the fence company that put that fence in took my money, said, yeah, 5 foot is, the state of Florida. If you have a pool, you need a minimum 5 foot around the yard. So that's how the 5 foot came about.
Okay.
Because the 4 foot did not keep anybody out.
All right. Did you provide the information that the city said was missing from the variance application?
Yes, well, yes, the fence is already, I thought they were talking about the wood fence, and I have all that because I've already put it in. So when I gave it to Anna, and she, told her, she said include, everything, and so I put it in there. I wanted to extend the existing 5-foot fence where the 4-foot one is all around the property. And then when they came back and said they needed more information, or I said, well, the city already has that. The fence has been there for 9 years. And I have a survey, which I submitted to them, and they have that. Of where, and the city sidewalk, to top it off, is on my property. So that's not good. So that's why I had to sit back, move the pool, do everything else, and I never made a big stink about that, and as far as tearing the sidewalk out so I could have a bigger pool.
Does the survey show the location of the aluminum fence?
Oh, the aluminum fence? Yes, I think it does, because
This is a new survey, then?
yes.
Okay.
I'm sure it does, because I gave it to the fence people, and they marked it all up. Yeah, it would just go, it's perfect. The setbacks are perfect. Everything's there. It just follows the sidewalk. In fact, it comes inside from the sidewalk because, like I said, the city put the sidewalk on my property. And when I addressed it to them, they were like, "Well, I don't know how that happened." I'm like, "Well, anyway, that's
All right.
It's really not a big deal. It's just it's liability-wise and security-wise. I'm really surprised that the city hasn't come to me and said you need a bigger fence around that pool, because it's just a matter of time before somebody comes over that fence, and then I've got to deal with it.
Okay. Anything further before I call the city back?
No,
Okay.
no, thank you.
Officer Coates, would you like to respond to what you've heard?
Yes, sir. Once again, Mr. Geller, you said it. The question is about the 5-foot aluminum fence that was put up without permitting, number one. Number two, the variance package that she did pay the fee, $825, I believe, is incomplete. She was told this, like I stated in my PowerPoint presentation, as of March 20th, 25. It has not been received.
Right, now Ms. Bateson testified that a survey was prepared, it was given to the fence company. Do we know if that survey is included in the variance application?
I've got the variance application with me if you'd like to look at it.
I would like to look at it. So we're going to administratively mark Ms. Bateson's photographs and videos as Exhibit C collectively.
That's the one she paid $825 for.
Thank you. We're going to mark the variance application as Exhibit D, as in David. Property survey number 5.
That package you're reviewing right there was reviewed by the department director,
Okay.
Ms. Brianna Solt, and
Okay.
it was deemed
Okay. So what?
missing items.
Okay. So I'm looking, ma'am, please, I will have you. I'll call you up when Officer Coates is completed. But I need to do this in an orderly fashion. All right. So I'm looking at a survey, and
Mr. Geller, I'm not
Yes.
the one who reviews that.
right.
So-
I'm looking at the survey, and so if they're saying that it's not showing the fence location. I see a dotted line. That seems to indicate. Okay. Well,
I'm looking at a diagram of the whole property without markings of fence.
I think what is needed on here, the dotted line appears to be the utilities and drainage easement. And so I do not see a fence delineated on the survey. I think that's what the problem is. Okay, all right, so if you would give this to Ms. Roth to be our Exhibit D. Okay, I think I understand what's going on now. So, Ms. Bateson, do you want to come back up to the stand and we can have some further testimony from you, or? No, I need you to be up there where the microphone is, I'm sorry. Officer Coates, are you done before she gets back?
I was going to finish my PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, okay. Are you okay? Okay. All right, Ms. Bateson, go ahead. You can.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, I've been dealing with, like I said, a previous
Okay.
employer here that was advising me as well what to do because he's known all the things that I had been going through
Okay.
there and suggested that I put in a 5-foot fence. He is
Okay.
no longer employed here.
Okay.
I know this is we don't have a city manager. I was dealing with Todd and dealing with Anna and
Okay. All right.
Lisa and Renee.
All right.
And
So,
everybody was on
Ms.
board.
Bateson, I think I know what the problem with the variance application is.
Okay.
And that is that the survey does not show the location of the fence, either the one that's at issue, the aluminum one, or the one in the back.
Well, the one in the back was done back in 2012, and
Right, but it
and
does
that
not
was-
appear on the survey. That's the problem. And so I think you need your surveyor to add the location of the fence for your application. Then you'll have a complete application. I think that's the missing piece.
Okay, I do believe I have a newer survey that I can submit.
Okay.
That I believe shows the fence. That
Okay.
one, I don't know why that one, they didn't just say that, but that's fine. We'll get through this.
Okay.
It's really not, yeah, it shouldn't be this ridiculous and hard when it's a safety issue now for me and a liability. And actually aesthetically, I would much rather see that black fence go all the way to the road, not that wooden 4-foot thing that is almost 10 years old and I think his dates are numbered.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bateson. Officer
Mr.
Coates.
Geller, if I may, I want to show you this. You have this in your file, but I have
Okay.
it right here that you can look at again,
Okay.
and Ms. Basin can as well.
Which is, and what are you referring to?
To you last hearing, you've got that under.
This was the testimony of Ms. Young.
Yes.
Okay, so this is permit technician, testimony of permit technician Anna Young. I explained that once her contractor was advised that the city is unable to approve the fence at 5 foot in height, her contractor requested that the application be canceled. She then stated that MC Fence and Deck move forward with completing the fence installation at 5 feet. Therefore, she's going to apply for a permit for the fence. I explained that the fence is in violation of the city code of ordinances as it exceeds 4 feet in height within the 25-foot right-of-way. I advised her that submitting a permit application for the fence at 5 feet in height would result in a denial. I also advised that she had previously submitted a request for a variance, but she did not pay for the request for a variance. Ms. Bateson advised me that she is keeping the fence at 5 feet, refuses to pay for the request for a variance. She submitted a permit application on October 18, 2024, with the fence as already installed. Well, I think she cured the issue with
Yes.
the
Yes.
permit. I'm sorry, not the permit. I mean the application fee
Yes, sir, she
for the
did.
variance.
She
Okay,
did, but it remains incomplete.
I understand. And having looked at the survey, I can understand why the building department made that determination. So, do you have anything further? Anything you'd like me to consider for
My
the city?
recommendations.
Yes, sir.
Based on testimony, I respectfully request the magistrate find the respondent in violation of the notice of violation set forth in the October 25.
You want to say in violation of the code provisions cited
provisions.
in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On October 25, 2024, magistrate order and fine be imposed the amount of $100 for the first day and $50 thereafter until compliance is confirmed by the code enforcement officer and all costs associated with enforcement of the violation be imposed.
Okay. All right. Let me, let me ask this for, once she has another survey, so if she goes ahead, she submits the follow-up survey, how long will it take for the variance application then to be reviewed again and then have it, I guess there would have to be a hearing.
Yes.
Do you have a board of adjustment here? Who, or is there a way to administratively approve of a variance?
That goes before the council, and I'm not sure when they hear that.
Okay,
Because she missed her opportunity for the January hearing
yeah,
because it was incomplete.
right, okay. Okay. Ms. Bateson, I already got your testimony.
I'm
Okay.
fine
Okay.
with her submitting the completed
Okay.
documentation.
Here's what here's what we're going to do. I agree there's a violation. Having looked at the code, there is a violation. I don't think that the submittal of the survey as was done was done with any kind of malice or any kind of intentional wrongdoing here. I think it's an error that can and should be corrected. I agree with the assessments that the fence, as installed, actually looks good aesthetically. I do agree with that. And so I would like to give a full and fair opportunity for this variance process to go through with the complete application, with a survey that shows the location of the fence, that is a perfectly reasonable requirement by the building department to have. And so I think there was a disconnect. Ms. Bateson, in her mind, a survey was submitted, and then when I looked at that survey and you looked at it as well, Officer Coates, we saw the fence is not delineated like it really ought to be for a fence application. So I'm going to find that there is a violation of the 5-foot requirement. In fact, I already made that finding in my original finding of fact.
Yes, sir.
Back in October. So that hasn't changed. So I have no evidence that would lead me to undo that finding. And so I think the violations are continuing of Section 82-31, which adopts the Florida Building Code, and the requirement for permits in Section 105.1 of the Florida Building Code, in Section 1110.1 of the Florida Building Code. So we have a fence that was installed without a permit. The permit theoretically can be issued if a variance is approved of.
Sure.
So I think that's what we're trying to get to here is, and I think Ms. Bateson makes a good case. If I were on the city council and could approve of a variance, I would think she made a very good case for a variance. But that's not my authority or my jurisdiction. My jurisdiction is to find, is there or is there not a violation of the code? And if there is a violation of the code, should fines be assessed? So there is a violation. The violation continues, but I want to give a full and fair opportunity for the variance application to go forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept the city's recommendation that the fines be assessed at $100 for the first day, $50 for each day thereafter from the compliance date, and just bear with me on this for a moment. We had a compliance date of November, I'm trying to find that. Yeah, November 22nd, 2024. That was the compliance date, okay? So we're going to, and then what I'm going to do, so November 22nd, 2024, but then we're going to stay the accrual of these fines for, I want to give a real opportunity to have this done properly. So right now we're at the end of March, so April, May, June. I'm gonna stay the accrual of fines until my special magistrate's hearing in June, which is 3 entire months to submit the new application, submit the new survey with the application, and to give the city a fair amount of time to review it, and then get it submitted to the city council for hearing either in May or June. And then if the variance is granted, then the fines will they'll never reappear because they'll all be stayed. So I'm staying the fines. And then, Ms. Roth, are you able to tell me the date in June when I would be back here? It'd be the fourth Tuesday in June. Do you have that handy?
I don't have my phone with me.
Let me do that.
I got it.
Yes, what is the date of that?
June would be the last Tuesday, would be, June 24th.
Okay, June 24. So we're going to stay the accrual of fines until June 24, 2025, to again allow submission of the correct survey delineating the location of the fence. And then if we do not have a variance granted, then these fines would start accruing. I mean, that's how I see this going. If for some reason some additional time is needed at that point, that can be addressed to me in June. If just because of whatever circumstances are happening, we'll look at that with just based on real genuine efforts to get this variance heard by the council. Any questions for me?
No, sir.
Any questions for me, Ms. Bateson? Do you understand the order that I'm going to be entering? I do, sir. Okay. Well, I hope that you're able to get your variance. I think it's there's a lot of merit to it, and I hope that will resolve this without that these fines they'll never rear their ugly head, and we'll hope that this all gets taken care of. So I wish you all the best. Yes, sir. Ma'am, thank you very much. All right. Anything further on our agenda this evening? I'm not seeing anything else on the agenda, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and adjourn for the night. Thank you so much, everyone.